Good Monday morning, Sonor family. Jules here. Um, Today, gonna kind of gonna talk about some change I've got coming up. Trying to figure out how deep I want to get into this, and I've been leaving these organic, so you may, instead of seeing a heavily cut up version of what I've got to say, you may see me kind of bouncing around a little bit. My apologies for that. At the same time, I hope that lends to sincerity and all that in my broadcasts here. 2025 has been pretty cool. At the same time, there's been some sadness. Um, to me, three of the top or the longest running Sonor endorsers. I say to me, but I mean this is just the way it is. Um, Steve Smith, Jack DeJohnette in the wrong order. Jack DeJohnette and then Steve Smith. And actually, Phil Rudd was a Sonor endorser before Steve Smith was. Phil Rudd became an endorser the same year Steve Smith started buying Sonor gear. Um, Phil's somebody I wanted to interview in person in 2014. I actually literally was trying to work it out to fly over to New Zealand to his restaurant at the time, Phil's Place. That didn't work out. And all the attempts I've made to contact him this year have failed. And the last few times I've seen him interviewed, he was really hard to understand, and I think it could be a major embarrassment for me if I was asking him questions. And I think I got a little bit of my hearing's pretty good, especially considering I'm a drummer. But I think I've got a little bit of a deficiency in the vocal range, in the human voice range. And I would hate to be in a situation on a Zoom call with him where I'm having to ask him over and over what he said and maybe still not understand and have to act like I know what's going on and move on. I did get the opportunity to interview Steve Smith this year, which was a huge honor for me, and had been trying to reach Jack DeJohnette since February. And of course, we lost him recently, so that interview's never going to happen. Kicked the year off with a huge Todd Zuckerman interview. Um, Timing was perfect on that. Huge kudos to or huge thanks to Mike at Atlanta Drum Shop for letting me be a part of the master classes that ultimately um, led up to me being able to do the interview with Todd, which was a once in a lifetime timing. Todd being gone for 25 years from Sonor, primarily with Pearl during that time, and then returning to Sonor and having everything sitting ready to go the day after the announcement was made while everybody's scrambling to figure out why, what happened with Pearl or, what drew him back to Sonor and to get to have that whole story, an hour and 42 minutes worth, was just something that wouldn't have happened without Mike at Atlanta Drum Shop. Um, and it wouldn't have happened without Todd being such a great guy. So anyway, I guess what I'm getting at is in some ways, um, my return to doing interviews this year. I've done several over the years. I've interviewed Todd four times now since 2008. So this isn't exactly a new channel or a new, thing that I've done, just never on the level we've done it this year. And, you know, some issues that the channel will always have is that I'm Sonar specific. And I ran into this being a problem as a Sonar dealer as well. There is a very limited viewership, and there are a lot of Sonar guys out there. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that compared to the performance of a retailer that has, lots of brands, they're selling cymbals, drums, hardware, drum heads, the whole bit. And I've got a very niche, and I mean very, very niche interest point here being Sonar. and this it has a lot to do with struggles as a dealer 20 years ago, and why there's going to be a ceiling on how much traction the channel can possibly make in the long run. So this is not a defeatist conversation. I'm just trying to explain some realities. And then for 2025, you know, we had some really great interviews happen. We had Gavin Harrison, Tal Bergman, um, Yoss Nickel. A lot of cool stuff happened this year, and there's still a lot of fruit on the tree. There are a lot of artists I still have not gotten in touch with, a lot of huge Sonor artists. So 2026, we're gonna see a continuation of that, and then we'll build more and more momentum as the channel as momentum picks up. That was kind of a goofy thing to say, wasn't it? But as we get more and more subscribers and more people are drawn to the channel, things are going to get better and better. So, even with interviews we did in 2025, I anticipate follow-up interviews. We'll definitely be talking to Todd again at some point. If nothing else, maybe some different angles on the Sonor drums. We've already discussed his comeback to the brand and the gear. We may get some perspective on the Momentum series from Todd that he played over in the UK at the UK Drum Show. May hit on his Sabian cymbals. I'm not presently a Sabian guy, but that doesn't matter. There's a lot of you guys that are, and I definitely, Sabian's a great company, great product. So I'm totally okay with doing something more focused on that. Um, Steve Smith will be back. Um, we don't have a firm date yet. It's going to be a little time. We're going to let the water flow through the river a little bit, and then we're going to circle back at some point and hit some topics of interest to many or most of you. So what else have we got going on here? All right. So what I plan to do for moving into 2026, and I'm not waiting for that. This is stuff I want to get going between now and sometime into next year. I want other contributors on here. If you've got it can be a one-off. If you've got something about Sonar, if you've got a piece of gear you're just over the moon about and you want to tell everybody about it, this is the place to do it. And there's several ways we could work that out. You just need to contact me at drum and stage, all spelled out, just like behind my head here, at gmail.com. Contact me. Let me know what it is. If you've got something that you think would be a good regular feature, if you want to host that, we can work that out. If you don't want to host that, that still may be something I want to look at to do myself, or maybe find somebody else to do that. Um, So I think that would be a good thing for the drum and stage channel and brand in general, is to get some other people contributing. Really want to build off what we've got going here so far, and I think that'd be a good way to do that. I'm looking down my list. Personally, um, I've got some challenges. I'm not going to get too deep into this, but I've had a business since September of 2019, and um, been a few shifts in things over the last couple of years, and it may be time to move away from that. And um, so my availability may change in the near future. And I've got some other things going on. I've never kept this a secret, but I have a lot of trouble with my hands, and my right wrist is as bad as it's ever been right now. The range of motion is terrible, absolutely terrible. And sometimes I wake up in the night with it throbbing. Used to be, it was sharp, extreme pain constantly, and either numbness or pain right here through this area, if you can see this. But anyway, um, and on top of that, where I've been playing, they no longer are doing live music. They're using YouTube videos with a singer that picks out the songs and all that. This is a church thing. Um, so right now I don't even have a gig, and I'm having to rethink a lot of things. Um, it's time for change, and the channel's not going away. I'm not hinting that the channel's going to go away or anything major is going to change with the channel. That is not the case. And I'm not going to be flipping to another drum company. This isn't anything about that either. So what else have we got to talk about? I got other stuff on my list here, but I think I'm going to let this do this for today. Um, there may I may have a one-off video come out during the week where I talk more in depth about some changes I foresee happening and some opportunities from the changes. So just keep your eye on the channel. Check it out. Check us out on the forum if you don't already. drumandstage.com/forum, FORUM. But you could probably spell that easier than you could drum and stage, but I spelled that out anyway. Um, I guess that's it, guys. I hope you have a great week. If you have anything on your mind, it's drumandstage@gmail.com or, send me a message through the forum if you want to sign up or log in if you're already signed up. And I will bid you adieu until for now and see you soon. Thank you.